Okay, that's right. They could teleport underground to anywhere on the map. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that, except it's, yeah. Not too much of a surprise if you see some of the other changes that did make it into the game. Alright. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, it is the red Terran FrostGt, also known as FrostGg in the Twitch chat, in case you guys are wondering. He stops by my stream sometimes. His opponent in the top left, it is the blue Protoss, Scarlet, also known as Florencio. So these two have met on ladder before. I actually cast that game. It was a wild one, to say the very least. It is up on my YouTube channel. I definitely recommend it. Exile says, we need a Broodlord teleport like the Battlecruiser. Why not, man? It's like everything else in the game teleports. Adepts basically do. DTs do. Stalkers do. Mothership Core / Mothership can make the entire Protoss army teleport. BCs teleport. So yeah, why not? Why not just make everything teleport? Go for it. Anyway, Florencio with his typical early scout, but what on earth is this probe doing at his natural? Are you kidding me? Okay, this is downright cheesy from Florencio. He's expanding. I actually have never seen him do this before. Never. He does throw down a pylon here, so he's still doing it in his own way. But Florencio is going with a gateway expansion. You got the Broodlord skin? I've actually been thinking about getting the rest of the skins and the announcer pack. I still haven't gotten an announcer pack. But I like supporting the game. So I've already gotten quite a few skins so far, but not all of them. And I got all of the Nova mission packs. Probe is finally taken out. I'm actually not sure if Florencio... yes, he did. He did scout the factory. So he knows that FrostGt is going to be most likely sending some aggression his way off of one base. The reason why I say most likely and not definitely, if this was any other opponent besides Florencio, I would say it's definitely going to be aggression. But FrostGt might just be playing super safe because he knows Florencio's style. And in fact, it seems like that's the case, as he is expanding here. So it looks like FrostGt is playing to his opponents. Yeah, he is playing standard and in-base Stargate. Are we sure this is Florencio? Florencio did send me this replay. He said it was him. I'm gonna have to take him at his word. Anyway, we actually have an interesting build coming out here for FrostGt, going with Cyclone and a Widow Mine. This is definitely not pure defense. I think he wants to push. Probably just poke around. Supply block momentarily there for FrostGt. And his command center should finish up to prevent another one. Florencio going for... what the heck? Florencio is playing a standard PvT, ladies and gentlemen. This is as standard as it gets. 330, third Nexus. It looks like he's going into Phoenix Adept build. Just a very standard Phoenix Adept build. He's getting Warp Gate. Florencio, are you drunk? He's playing a standard PvT. I'm actually really excited to see how he plays this. This is as standard as it gets. Oracle first. He'll look to add on Phoenixes most likely after. Could even go with the second Oracle, to be honest. This Cyclone is going to cause some problems. Mothership Core is just on the way now, so Mothership Core is a bit late. The Oracle comes back. Revelation will reveal... oh dear. Will reveal the Widow Mine, which does kill the Oracle. And the triple Cyclone, excuse me, with two more on the way, is going to clean up all of these Adepts. If this if that turret would have completed, that would have been huge, huge trouble for Florencio. That would, of course, push away the Mothership Core. As it is, these 3 Cyclones with additional Cyclones joining up will be more than enough to keep that Mothership Core away, and this natural is going down uncontestedly. Florencio right now is saying, well, see why I don't play Standard, because this is what Protoss has to deal with. Not sure he's actually saying that, but I do know a lot of Protosses feel that way, because early game Cyclone pushes, Cyclone cheeses are really strong. These things are absolute beasts against buildings. Got another SCV coming up here, presumably to finish this turret, but also could be to repair the Cyclone. Cyclone does go down. A scan goes down for high ground vision to take out these pylons, and Florencio's going into Void Rays, which are a very good choice against the Cyclones. They will destroy these Cyclones with their bonus damage to armored. FrostGt still has not scouted the 3rd base of Florencio. If we take a look at the workers, Florencio is actually quite a ways ahead, and that is certainly not where a Protoss player wants to be. Exile says he thinks that Florencio is sick, and I'm assuming that means, like, not well. Given that he is playing Standard. I want to ask Florencio later. So actually Warp Gate is complete, but he has not yet morphed his gateways into Warp Gates. He might still just be playing for Mass Stargate now. But I want to ask Florencio later what made him go Standard in this game. Standard is essentially a cheese for Florencio. So still no Warp Gate being morphed in, but we do have gateway units being produced, so I'm not sure if that's just an oversight from Florencio right now or what. He's adding more gateways at the moment. There is a bit of a soft contain. I don't want to call it a hard contain, even though the turret's there, just because there are only 3 Cyclones at the moment. Lied. 5 Cyclones. But they are going to back off. Void Rays do come in, get a few worker kills, only 2 as a matter of fact, and they get pushed away by a Cyclone. Florencio wisely recalls back. And it looks like both players are going to have to macro up a little bit here before we reach the next stage of the game. FrostGt going for a 3rd base. Vikings being produced, and if I recall correctly, FrostGt does actually play mech in TVP. I know he plays it in TVT and TVZ. He's a mech fanatic. But I do believe him, I recall him saying that he plays it in TVP as well. He's certainly playing it in this game, that's for sure. Florencio looks like he wants to go back and retake his natural, which will be his 3rd base now. Might just be long distance mining due to the oversaturation. Twilight Council going down, more gateways, which should be warped into Warp Gates. Not used to seeing Florencio with that Warp Gate tech. We require more swarm hosts. Can you tell who plays Zerg in the chat? Void Ray is going to push in here. They need to be careful of this Widow Mine, especially with the Cyclone and Viking follow-up. There it is, right there. But wow, these Void Rays absolutely destroy these mechanical units. Oh my goodness, I did not think it would be that one-sided. I thought there would be a close fight. FrostGt was just not ready for this. To be honest, I think he should have thrown down a turret. He knew that Florencio was already making Void Rays. It would be safe to assume that he would continue with Stargate tech. More Widow Mines go down. Florencio doing a nice job of triggering that with a probe and a Zealot. This orbital command, I don't know if it's going to be repaired. It looks like it just barely is repaired. I don't think these Cyclones are going to be enough. Perhaps without prismatic alignment, they will be. Factory looks like it could be focused down now. A siege tank comes out. That's not going to help too much. Factory does go down, Widow Mine goes down, and only one Cyclone goes down here. Florencio is going to pull back and start working on some SCVs at the what was previously the 3rd mineral line. 3rd base having been lifted, floated into the main. and now being retaken. Florencio with, we can call it a semi-ninja third base, still has not retaken his natural. This SCV has been sitting here the entire time. I think it's just an oversight. He's been there for, I want to say, at least 5 minutes now. Can't fool me, Exile. Warp gates being morphed. Robotics facility being added, presumably for immortals. I guess could be for just observers as well. But definitely an interesting game so far. Oh my goodness, lots and lots of idle SCVs. That is not going to help FrostGt's cause. Looks like he does identify them now and sends them over to his third base. If we take a look at the worker count, actually favors the Terran, 67 to 54. It's not a terrible probe count for Florencio, but I do believe he wants a few more than that. Dark Shrine coming in. Glaives for the Adepts. Turret not going to stand a chance against these Void Rays. Neither will the second or the third. The fourth will survive for now. Widowmine goes down. A couple more SCVs, and this is eventually shooed away by the Vikings and Widowmines. Good job there by Florencio, getting a bit of damage done and pulling back. Frost will definitely want to remake those turrets at some point. I guess if he has all of the Widowmines here and keeps them there, he won't need to do that. But I imagine at some point he will want to bring these Widowmines with his main army. Resources Lost tab telling an interesting story. FrostGt is actually far behind in that department. Dark Shrine nearing completion. Glaives finishing up as we speak. I remember you said Terran was your main race, your initial main race, Exile, so I believe you. Looks like this could be the worst time possible for the Widowmines to back off. Adepts going to try to shade in. These should be canceled, but while... actually, if they complete, the friendly fire could be targeted onto the SCVs with proper positioning. While this is going on, the Void Rays do come in. They eat one Widowmine shot. Doesn't look like it was anything too serious, though. Few more SCVs have been killed, and we are up to 53 overall. That is downright insane. I don't think there was any, or at least I haven't seen, any one time where a ton of SCVs have gone down, but Florencio has been consistent with the harassment. I mean, we're at 57 SCVs now. That is no joke. 43 SCVs, not quite enough for 3-base saturation. So FrostGt is definitely going to have to remake some of those. First race ever to hit Plat, then hit the wall in Plat 3 at Troubles Macron with Terrence, which is Zerg, and I think me and Zerg are were meant to be. Yeah, I would have to agree. You seem like a Zerg. Like, you have a Zerg mind. Scan goes down on the third base. I actually think is that the first time that FrostGt has seen this? No, because he's seen this assimilator. I'm not sure why he was scanning the third. Maybe to check army positioning. I think the scan got part of where this possible fourth could be as well. But anyway, not too much information revealed with that scan. Florencio's just kind of sharking around with his units as he is wont to do. He'll keep a nice force, a sizable force of Sky Toss with his Mothership Core, kind of patrol the map, and once he gets in danger, recall. But unfortunately for him, the Mothership Core is not with the Void Rays here. The Vikings pick off all of the Void Rays. Of course, they were able to get the Mothership Core first. Adepts are going to shade in here, do some more damage, but a good preemptive pull from FrostGt should protect all of these SCVs. Lots of Widowmine shots going off, but the Adepts do end up getting away. It looks like they will get away only to die another day. That day dawning right now. So very good trades there for FrostGt. We can see it reflected in the resources lost as well as the supply. He was down quite a bit in the resources lost department and is now ahead, so that was a real turnaround. I mean, Exile, because you actually plan like tech switches, and to be honest, as much as I love Terran, Terran is a very tactical race, but it is not very strategic. Bio, that is. There's not too much thinking involved in the build, or even in the unit composition. The thinking is in the tactics, how you're going to attack, how you're going to defend, like how you use your units, but not necessarily planning which units you're going to build. Not very much. That isn't to say that there's no strategy involved. There is, and build orders are still really important, but it is definitely much more tactical than strategic. Florencio getting into the 4th base here of FrostGt with 4 Dark Templar. That is a clutch scan. If Florencio can spread them out, maybe he can survive. He does have Blink, by the way, or Shadow Stride, as it's called. I think maybe with a really good split, he could have lasted, or I should say, survived the scan and then gone back in. So a bit unfortunate for Florencio that he did not manage to take out that 4th. He is going into carriers, and I'll be honest, I actually don't know how carriers do against mech. Of course, I know they shred bio, but I don't think I've ever seen them against the mech army. I know Skytoss in general is really strong against mech, but I always thought that was primarily due to Tempests and Void Rays. At any rate, FrostGt is doing quite well in terms of supply, but he's starting to mine out of his bases. His main is completely mined out. His natural is getting quite low on gas and on minerals, and he's not fully mining the gas at his 3rd. With that being said, he does have a significant gas bank, especially for a mech player. But these minerals are going to be mining out quite shortly, with the exception of this one. And pretty soon he's going to find himself on 2 bases, which is not where a mech player wants to be. I wonder if that's part of the reason why he's going for this very committal push now. And this could be a very dangerous attack. If the Widow Mines can get underneath the carriers or just take out all of the interceptors and the Thors and Vikings, hit the carriers, this could be a GG push. I think this is going to be really tough for Florencio to deal with. In fact, I don't know how he's going to do it, to be honest. He's biding his time right now as he gets up some more interceptors. Widow Mines do go off on probes. Blue Flame Hellbats come in, taking out some pylons, and pretty soon we'll start to attack the Nexus. The Vikings are actually going in and dying to the interceptors. That is definitely not what FrostGt wants. I think he just A moved up there, but did not shift command the burrow. Widow Mines are going to go off onto the interceptors, which actually get pulled into a carrier. The carriers do come down and clean up the remaining army here. So to answer my question, I think the carriers do pretty darn well against mech, and in the meantime, Dark Templar take out that critical 4th base of FrostGt. I think Florencio may have done it. I did not expect this at all. I thought this could be a final push for victory for FrostGt. Florencio doing a great job with his defense and getting the Dark Templar into the 4th at the same time. Now, there is detection over here, and there are units for FrostGt, so the Dark Templar are going to die if they push in too far, but I just don't think there's enough army for FrostGt. It's 66 to the 102 of Florencio, but Florencio has this base up. This base is mining out. This base is virtually mined out, but if we recall, this was taken very late, so that's still a really fresh and safe base for Florencio. There are tons of Widow Mines, which may intercept reinforcements, but once again, the main problem is this army here had no turret, no GG, but a GG was indeed had. Well played by Florencio. That was a really good game, a really interesting one too. It was actually really cool to see Florencio playing a standard game. Standard, even though on Frost's part, you could say it was non-standard in that he plays mech in TVP, which is pretty crazy. But really interesting game.